Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. Getting down fresh out, you know how we do it over here. Got a question from a viewer, and they wanted to know, do you have prison nightmares? And the answer to that is, I used to have a lot of prison nightmares. You know, sleeping is one of your most peaceful events throughout the day, throughout your life. When you sleep, you recover, you heal, you dream, you go into other dimensions, you know, you tune in when you're sleeping. But in prison, you can never really sleep peacefully. You are always ready to jump up at a moment's notice. When you're sleeping in an environment that's like a dorm situation, you always have your shoes on. You're awakened by either the sound of a cell door opening, turn of a key, or bright lights. It's pretty traumatic, man. I mean, you'll be laying there and you'll have a dream that'll be so vivid you'll think it's real. Maybe on the beach, maybe with your girl, with your family, with your child, and then you'll be snapped back into reality because you hear a key turning, and instantly you know you're in prison, you're locked up, and that happens repeatedly. It goes on for years and years of that. It becomes pretty programmed in your mind that there is no peace when you're sleeping. And so when you get out, you just, have these moments where you'll be sleeping and you'll just snap, whoa, what, oh man, what's going on? You'll wake up, look around, and you'll question your surroundings, not knowing if you're locked up or if you're free, especially if you did any significant amount of time. You just wake up out of the middle of nowhere and be confused. And if you are living with somebody who's done time, somebody who's been incarcerated, these are some of the things you need to know, because these people, they can have, flashes. There's been times where, you've been in a sleep state in prison or in jail, and then, shit kicks off. Shit kicks off. You hear the sound of boots running down a walkway, or keys jingling. That stuff is crazy, man. The sound of keys just ching, 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 just running, moving. You know that something's going down. People hollering out of a straight dead sleep. You like, what the hell? You hear doors, crazy noises, cells being clicked open. You're like, what the hell's going on? This stuff is this stuff is pretty dramatic. It messes you up in the head, man, mentally, man. Yeah, I used to have these dreams where somehow I was locked up, but I was in there past my release date, and I couldn't find anybody to tell me why I wasn't already released. Like, I couldn't get a meeting with the counselor to verify my release date. I couldn't talk to the warden. It was just stuck in limbo. And I was just like in a Groundhog Day situation. Then I wake up and I realize I'm free. But these are some of the dreams I would have, and these dreams would mess me up, man. You wake up and you're like, how did you get back in jail? Because you didn't even know what the charges were. That's the thing in a dream. You don't know what your charges are. You don't know why you're still there or why you're there. And it's as though nobody can give you an answer. You're just doing time. I don't have those nightmares as much as I used to have them, but I used to have them a lot when I first got out. And I worked hard mentally while I was in prison, so I didn't become institutionalized, so I didn't become programmed. But these things you have no control of. The sound of keys, the bright lights coming on, wake you up. The noises they put through the loudspeakers, doors clicking open. You have no control over those things. So those things, you don't even realize it, but they're trigger points. You hear them and it triggers certain things, in your head. Sleeping with, like I said, your shoes on all the time, your boots, having a knife close to you in case you got to jump up and be ready. You wake up and you look and there's somebody standing outside your door, and it's another inmate, and maybe he's peeking in to see if you're awake, so he can try to run up in there on you. I mean, crazy shit like that. You got people even in jail, man, that are on some predatorial shit to try to see if they can catch you slipping, man. And these things create nightmares. One of the things I credit to getting over my nightmares, shout out to Travis Ritchie, was I got to go to Idaho State Prison and talk to some inmates there doing time. And I got to walk in on my own, and walking in, not in handcuffs, voluntarily, and then sitting outside, waiting to be escorted in with the guards, and then seeing that type of casual interaction, not feeling like I'm less than human, feeling humiliated, walking through there on my own with another counselor and people who work there, and then talking to these guys and realizing that I'm not in the prison clothes. I'm not like having to listen to the guards, tell me what to do, when to get up, when to, lock it down and all that stuff. That kind of closed the window on some things that had been mentally affecting me. So that was a big step in my healing process. And then listening to these guys' stories, one dude never getting out, murdered a lady, never coming home, never going home, in there for life. Another guy, he's doing 35 to life, and he'd been down, I forgot how many years, and I think he had like 5 more before he qualified to go for parole. Kill somebody. And hearing their stories, And I've interviewed a lot of people, man. But interviewing somebody in prison is different. And then you leave and they're still there. See, the people I interviewed before, they had did their time and they're out. These people are still there and they're, somehow holding on to hope. We walked out of there and man, as you drove away, you looked at the place, and all the prisons, man, they have an energy vibration. I tell you, just like going into buildings, certain buildings, have a certain energy, certain houses. There's houses I've been to, people, where people live, and you're like, man, this ain't cool. If you've been in the hood, you've been in some different trap houses, different dope houses, different places, you get a vibe. You go into a church, you feel a certain energy. You just feel things, and prisons have a distinct energy frequency. It's just a vibration. And people work there, I don't even know if they're aware of that, but when you're going into that, you're going into this dimension. And when I got spit out of that dimension, I walked out of that dimension, I'm like, man, it was kind of closure in a sense to something that had been affecting my ability to function at my highest level. It was like a fear thing, like, jail. Because every time a lot of you guys, you've gotten away with a lot of shit because they haven't been pushing this stay in jail. They've been letting people out on the no bail thing. But every time I got locked up. I didn't get back out. I basically did time. And so being able to walk away from that and have some closure, man, it was just a hell of a feeling, man. And I truly believe that a lot of people who have been to prison, who have done like some significant amount of time, they probably need some type of like mental deprogramming, some type of counseling. And a lot of people experience it worse than I have. If you've been to a lockdown spot like a Pelican Bay, or you ran the SHU program and you were in and out the hole, and just the yelling, the screaming, it's almost like living in certain places in prison. It's like living in hell, living death. Life is going on the street, but you're in a time capsule. You're as though the day you came to prison, the world stopped. Your life stopped. You went to prison when you were 22, 23, 24, or maybe 18. That was your last experience with the real world, and you're stuck with that. Now, you're still growing in prison, maturing, whatever, aging. You get out, you're 30, 31, 32, whatever. But your last real experience was 24, 22. You're messed up in the head. You can get out. A lot of guys, you get out, you can get to a trade and get a job and all this, and you're dating, you're having function. But for the people who are dealing with those people who have relationships, that's your dad, that's your brother, that's your husband. These people, man, they still have a lot of trauma, man, even though they seem normal, because they missed a big gap of real world interaction. That shit is real. It's not something like, oh, so you doing good, blah, blah, blah. There's still a lot of that. There's a lot of pain in there. And, because we're men and, we don't want to seem weak. We don't ever talk about these mental struggles, this post-traumatic, stress that we're dealing with. And I've talked to guys who are ex-military, and they went through the same thing, coming back from Afghanistan, coming back from Iraq, coming back from the Middle East or somewhere in Africa. I mean, you come home and you're looking at these people around you, and they're just, they're living their life, and you're trying to cope with things you've seen, experienced, or had to do for survival. And that's where the nightmares come in. And you don't want to fail, you want to succeed, but you're dealing with a post-traumatic situation, and it's a battle, man, for a lot of people. That's why they turn to alcohol or turn to other drugs. A lot of guys get hooked on drugs, or you got to find something to decompress that emotion with, working out or finding a hobby or something. But it's real, and the guys out there dealing with it, a lot of people try to hide it, joke around, make it like it doesn't exist. A lot of these cats have had some nightmares, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of the biggest things that helped me was being able to walk through a prison door on my own voluntarily and leave on my own. That helped me a lot. Man. But for those out there, dealing with those struggles, man, maybe get some help, talk to somebody, leave a comment. I know how it is, man. You got an uncle, people, they lock themselves in a room all day, go to work and come home, and they just, you don't know really what they're doing. They seem like, oh man, they're able to function, but there's some things maybe mentally that they're still coping with. And it can take years, until you actually confront those emotions and you can work through them and own them. So for the viewer out there who are, who emailed about the prison nightmares, I hope that's a good explanation for you. And keep the questions coming. Email us at freshoutseries@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go to freshoutseries.com, pick up some merch, and support Fresh Out Ministries, because only we can save each other. Big Herc 916.
With Fresh Out Ministries, we're doing a new program where we're doing a takeover of a mom pop cafe or restaurant, and we're doing a pay it forward. So we're going to offer free meals at this particular restaurant or cafe, mom pop, for a certain amount of time, and we are asking that you make a donation to pay it forward so that we can continue doing this program for other mom pop restaurants and cafes, because we know that it's hard times out here. You have a lot of people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so we're actually walking the walk. We've been doing it for over 11 years on social media. We've been getting shadow banned. We've been getting demonetized. So we want to give back, and this is our way of giving back to helping everybody through these trying times with this economy. A lot of churches, they got $100 billion, and you don't see them out here helping the people who are in times of need, but they're still taking in the form of donations. But how's it helping the community? We want to build a community sense where we help each other, we can all overcome. You can't sit around waiting for somebody to save you. You got to save yourself. And this is the way you do it. So by us being able to do these takeovers with Fresh Out Ministries, with the mom pop restaurants and cafes, we want to be able to film, talk to you guys, get your feedback on what's going on right now in society. Hopefully you guys find it in your heart to donate. This donation, which is a pay it forward, will allow us to do other mom pops around the country eventually. But right now we're going to be in Southern California and Los Angeles, Orange County. So hey, reach out to your local businesses there. And if you are out of town in another area and you would like us to come there, if you provide the necessary means, we will come there also and do the same pay it forward. But right now, hey, if you're in locally in Los Angeles, Orange County, hit us up, freshoutseries@gmail.com. You can also make a donation on our link tree on our Instagram at Fresh Out Series. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigKirk916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.